Hey there, and welcome to the Fiihr Factor, the podcast that shines a light on real stories, smart strategies, and the occasional hard truth about running a business. Think of this as your quick dose of clarity before your first cup of coffee. Let's go. I'm currently working on a book. It's called Trust Your Caddy. Yeah, I'm writing it. Crazy, right? It's built around lessons golf can teach us about business, leadership, and life. The idea started after several rounds at Pebble Beach with my longtime caddy, Pat Mack. I kept thinking about how golfers pay an experienced caddy for advice. They pay him lots of money, and then they ignore the advice the caddy gives them. Business owners do the same thing. We hire coaches, mentors, consultants, and talented people, but sometimes we still refuse to trust them and to see what they see and to listen to their advice. So I originally interviewed Pat as part of the research for this book. This isn't our typical Fiihr Factor interview, but I wanted to share some of that conversation because Pat's experience helped shape the idea behind Trust Your Caddy. I hope you'll love this, and I hope that when the book comes out, you'll read it and you'll learn a lot from it and maybe get some laughs too.
Before Pat became one of Pebble Beach's most experienced caddies, someone noticed something even more important: his character.
Long story short, James Levette came periodically to have drinks and noticed that I wasn't stealing out of the register, right? I wasn't giving away a lot of free drinks, and he liked my style, and he said, well, Pebble Beach is going on strike, and we'd like to have you perhaps consider bartending in the tap room. That was back in 1982.
Wow.
And lo and behold, I said, well, let me think about it. And the next day, come to find out, the person that brought me here from Lake Tahoe sold the business, jacked up London's business, to this gentleman named Dick Sell. And he came to all of us and said, I'm sorry that I'm going to have to get rid of everybody. I'm going to bring in the old bartenders because they know a lot of people. Yeah, they know a lot of people, but also they gave away free drinks. They were stealing out of the register and all sorts of stuff. So it was a bad move on his part. So I got my $300 severance pay. I went to Jim Levette the next day and said, I'll take the job. And a couple of years passed. I worked as a bartender in the tap room for 2 years. Then down to Club 19, I waited tables at the Club 19 with Pierre Bain. Best boss I ever had for 2 years. And I got a little burned out with that part of the business. And, in the meantime, I could bring 3 guests to Pebble Beach once a month, bring 3 guests to Spyglass once a month and play golf. And I enjoyed it. So I asked R.J. Harper if I could be a caddy. And he said, sure, we'd love to have you. I was 18th on the seniority list at that time.
You're kidding. Oh my
That's how
God.
I went down.
And so you've been doing it for a little while now.
39 years.
And so how's that longevity? Are you like one of the most experienced caddies?
Well, I would think so. You've got several people in front of me, but on any given day, I'm usually first, second, or third out now.
A good caddy doesn't just read the course. He has to read the person carrying the club.
Well, the thing is, you have to model the person that you're working with. And if they're outgoing and telling you right up front, we're easy, you can get along with us, tell it the way it is, then sky's the limit. But sometimes you have to be very careful with people because they may not want to have that kind of input. They're all about themselves, and they're A-personalities, and you just have to grind it out and do the best you can for them without crossing their boundaries, so to speak.
Yeah. What's your ideal golfer client?
Well, I have quite a few regular clients, and, for the ones that contact me, and we have regular clients. My son, Nick, is also a great caddy. He's been doing it for 21 years. And we have clients, and I have a client that needs 2 caddies. I invite him. When he has a client that needs more than 1 caddy, of course, he invites me because that's a good bonding time for my son and I. But I think the regulars are great. Sometimes you get people on a day-to-day basis. It's the luck of the draw. Some people are boring, don't want to share a whole lot, don't want to open up a whole lot. And some people are drinking, smoking a cigar, and telling stories about their lives. And I'll ask them right away, what's your claim to fame? What are you great at? What is your passion? And then they start opening up. I find that a friend once told me, if you can get people opening up about themselves a little bit and ask questions and get them opening up, they're gonna like you. And it's true. And you want them to like you. But I will say, at the end of the day or during the day, if you speak one bad sentence to somebody, if you say something that's out of line and it just makes them a little unhappy with you, it could reflect your tip, and and they're not going to feel comfortable with you. It takes one thing, just one.
Yeah.
So
You
for
got all
5
the
hours,
opportunities.
you better be on top of things for 5 hours and be careful what you say.
I think it's really important. I hadn't really given it a lot of thought, clearly, but I think it's being on. You got to be on for 5 hours. It's not just the physical, like walking
Oh,
around carrying two bags and then retrieving
sure.
balls and all that stuff, right?
Emotional too. Physical,
Emotional.
emotional, all the way till the time you leave and you say goodbye, and you do it professionally.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Sometimes the difference between a good decision and a bad one is seeing what the person taking the shot can't.
Well, life's an education. I learn from people, and they hopefully learn from me. And I teach while I'm out on the golf course. If people need help, and they're willing to get some help out there with the golf swing, I'm not a great player anymore because basically I haven't played golf in the last 35 years except a few times. So I used to be pretty good, but now I'm not so good. But if I know how to help people, and if I can help them in the littlest way, and they can learn from it and take it home and use that and better their lives and lower their scores out on the golf course, or maybe I can give them some information to teach them something that I don't know that they hadn't thought about. The psychology of golf I talk about. For example, if you have an overhanging tree and your ball is near the tree, but you have a swing, if you imagine that overhanging tree, even if you don't have an overhanging tree in front of you, and you keep your head behind the ball, that little psychology of golf, keeping your head behind the ball through impact because you're imagining this overhanging tree, it's going to help you swing. Same with the Grand Canyon or the ocean that's behind you. If you have a hill in front of you, you're going to try to steer that ball up the hill. But if you have the ocean below you, or imagine the Grand Canyon, you can hit that ball up in the air 9 times out of 10. Psychology of golf.
The best advice doesn't end when the round is over. It gives someone something useful they can carry forward.
Well, I'll tell you that's the thing that stays with you, and that's the thing about caddying or advice in life, right? If you can give somebody one thing that they can use, and they're going to give you, well, first of all, they're going to get better, most importantly, but they're going to think about you. Like, I remember when Pat Mack was teaching me that bunker thing
Yeah.
with the line. It's like, it's a good memory, but it also adds a lot of value and something you can pass on to somebody else.
Well, I also have a script made out. It's about a 3-page script that goes through all the stuff. And on occasion, I will send it to people if I've worked with them rigorously for 2 or 3 days. I will send them this thing that I have prepared so that they have it. I'd be happy to send it to you. I think it would help you and your clients or your friends, and your book. I'm happy to send it to you.
For Pat, caddying is about helping people perform better. That same purpose is what drew me to coaching.
I like to see a smile on your face. I can tell you love people and you love what you do. I can tell. Yeah, I like
It's
that.
true. You know what, people? I think I think I can speak for you and say that, like, studying people and helping people grow, and that's like in this current thing I'm doing. Business coaching. Like, we've literally changed people's lives by helping them get back on track with their business or scale their business and get them so they can go to their kids' soccer games and they can go hopefully eventually have generational wealth and sell their business for a whole bunch of money and employ other people and help other people. Like, that stuff's addictive.
Sure. Good.
No different than you. Like, you love helping. You love teaching people, right?
Sure, I would. Yes, I do.
And
Yeah.
that's what brings you joy.
One difficult moment doesn't have to ruin the entire round. What matters is whether you allow it to control what happens next.
As I said, life's an education, and you learn a lot from people, and sometimes you have to be careful with people still. I was
Yeah.
diplomatic. I handle myself well. That's what you got to do, no matter what. Because you can't blow your top. You can't blow your top with people. Come
No,
back to that.
you gotta.
Control your temper.
At the end of the day, you gotta be on for that 5 hours, and you gotta work it. And then when the 5 hours is over and you get paid, hopefully you get paid what you're supposed to get paid. Then you can do what you
life
want.
in general, you don't want to blow your top, because if you look back on it, the times that you blow your top with people, which I have on several occasions, and I look back and I say, well, why did I do that? There's no
Yeah.
point in that. It makes you look stupid.
Right. Makes you look like you don't have control, right?
Yeah, you don't want to lose control.
You want to stay
That's
cool.
great advice for people. Whatever you do, maintain your control.
A caddy provides information and direction, But sometimes the player also needs confidence and encouragement.
Try to be nice to caddies too. They're people. And, we're not your blood relatives, but we should be kind of like family out there because we're working together for the same cause, and I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Eventually, people won't remember every shot you took. They'll remember how you treated them and the kind of person you were.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, a good father and a good husband.
Yeah, period. And then
That's what I live for.
that's the most important. And then question number 3, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, my claim to fame is playing basketball, and there's no question that people will remember me for that. That's my passion. That's what people call me the GOAT for, and it's like you're playing, your musical instruments. That's what they will remember me. Because blood people will remember you because your blood, your family, your mother, your father, your wife, your son, they'll remember you. My acquaintances, including people that know me from the golf course and what a great caddy I might be for those my regulars. They'll remember me for golf. My acquaintances that I play basketball with will remember me for my basketball prowess. But my family will remember me for just being a good guy. Just being a good guy. I'm not perfect, but they'll miss me.
Yeah, for sure. That's I think, and the thing I would add on is I think you know this a little bit, but like I think you've touched a lot of people in a lot of different ways just by that 5 hours of interaction on the golf course too. And it's not all about the golf. As I continue working on Trust Your Caddy, I'll be sharing more of the stories and lessons behind it in these podcasts. The central idea is simple. Find people who see what you cannot, have good perspective, can give you good advice, and give them permission to tell you the truth and be honest. And then, most importantly, be willing to listen. Sometimes the hardest part isn't finding a good caddy, it's trusting one.